Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in the half shell.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge video game review. The false run of Kevin Eastman and Peter Lard's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics launched over 40 years ago. Borrowing a loan from an uncle, the two artists went from working in the living room to quickly expanding into a multimedia empire led by the classic early 90s cartoons and movies. It gave rise to a wealth of toys, collectibles, and video games. The TMNT based video games developed by Konami for home consoles in the arcade are still some of the most well-known and cherished titles today. Developable tribute games took the most influence for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge from these great games. Developed by Tribute Games and released by Dotemu, Shredder's Revenge is a beat-em-up game. It is based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise and draws stylistic elements from the arcade and home console games from the 1980s and 90s. It was inspired by the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series, with many of the voice actors from the series reprising the roles. The game featured an amazing redesign of this series' opening theme. On June 16, 2022, the game was made available for Windows, Linux, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. It is amazing how much texture developers was able to include in Shredder's Revenge. The entire screen is filled with stunning pixels that both clearly feels new and fresh, yet beautifully reminded the graphic works of the early arcade games. Longtime fans will undoubtedly notice specific poses and animation as they play through the games that had been adopted from different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games in the past. Other visual elements such as boss foes flashing orange as the health starts to dwindle are also straight out of the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. It's enjoyable to search for these fascinating little Easter eggs throughout the quest. Arcade and Stories are the two available game modes. With 1 to 6 players, both games can be played. Arcade is very simple, essentially recreates the experience of playing at an arcade. You only have a limited number of lives and all the skills required to complete each level of the game without any continues or saves. While you can select to play any previously completed level in the city's map view of the story mode, which adds a little more to the gameplay, once you achieve a specific numbers of points you can unlock abilities, strengths, and additional lives and health. There are things to find and tasks to complete on each level. Even on the completed levels, you are permitted to switch to another character and level them up. Although the game is brief, you may complete it in a couple of hours or less. It is made to mimic playing in the arcade. It's designed so that you can sit down with a friend, play, and complete the game in a single afternoon. Playing with others allow for replaying the game over and over again, but when discussing the single player mode, it can grow stale. You can try completing trials, find some of the Turtles companions, and complete hidden objects, but due to the short length of the main game, it becomes quite repetitive rather quickly. The game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is precisely what it seems to be. A beautifully created remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade beat-em-ups. It is the ideal game to keep in your collection for when friends come over and you want to play something quick, entertaining, and that you can comfortably finish in one sitting. The level design is indeed fairly safe, and as a result, there is some tantrum towards the end of the campaign or during a single sitting arcade mode run. Nonetheless, these flaws are largely covered up by the engaging combat, a charming and nostalgic pixel aesthetic, and one of the year's best soundtrack. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game. My cousin and I played it a bunch of times, and we're gonna be continue to play it. It is really just like the old arcades and video games on the console back in the days of the early 90s and stuff. And my only thing is the short campaign mode. I hope there's expansions to it. I mean, I know like a lot of people said that that's how, you know, the arcade game was back then, and but to me it's just like we are in 2022, and I mean it's a 2D pixel game. We should be able to do much more than what they did 30 years ago, you know, and that's my only thing about it. Everything else I thought was great. I didn't hear a lot of people talk about how the audio was, and I can see where the complaint is, because it sounded like all the audio was very muddled and like toned down compared to all the like sound design and stuff. So I can see where people get it, but why they had complaints about it. But I don't think it like ruins the game or anything like that. I mean, that's a very small problem, but it is on Xbox Game Pass, and so if you have that, it's basically free. I mean, a 2-3 hour game, I mean, you can't go wrong there. And it does feature some intro from the original cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in the Shadow, Topo. Like, it has a new version of that at the very beginning of when you start up the game, and I thought it was pretty cool to see that. It really gets you pumped up, you know, back into that being a little kid again. Speaking of little kids, like, this is actually a quite easy game for kids. My cousin, he has his son playing with him all the time, and he's like 2 or 3 years old. Can't remember how old he is, but yeah, he's not that old, and he's able to play just fine and really enjoys it. So if you got kids and want to introduce them to when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was, you know, the coolest thing ever on the planet, before Michael Bay ruins it with those crappy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, this would be a great way to introduce it to them. Yeah, like I said, I just really wish it was longer, and hope there is more expansions and stuff to it. I heard some rumors about there will be some, but I don't know what kind of expansion. Well, not maybe one thing I thought was weird is like I can't quite remember what the names actually was, but the punk frogs, they was basically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they were frogs, and like you can find those throughout the game, but you could not play them as. So I hope there's something like that with them, and I say give it a try. It's pretty cheap if you don't have Xbox Game Pass, and so you can always check that out. And I think it's worth it if you like, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You grew up with it in the 90s and loved the beat up games back in the day. There's no reason to not pick this up, and I think everyone will enjoy it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description for a bunch of cool stuff, like the Geeking Around Network website, where you can see even more content. There also my Star Wars comic called Kira, a Star Wars story, a sequel web novel will be coming out very soon for that. And also there's merchandise like the Geeking Around t-shirts and stuff, and other clothing that you can get, and much other cool stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe, check out those links, and I'll see you next time. Bye.